Good afternoon, this is Tamara Sweeney from lovedominates.com. I'm showing off my t-shirt. I love this one, Inhale Love, Exhale Hate. We are having a sale right now. You can go to my website, www.lovedominates.com. Please buy these t-shirts up. All proceeds go to Love Dominates nonprofit. It's a 501c3, and that will help us tremendously on just getting the word out. All the expenses that we incur. Anyway, I want to thank you for all your support. It's been a long time since I've done a video. As you all know, I'm enjoying my freedom. I am in the works of making a series of videos that's going to explain what we all go through when we file for divorce, when we go through a court system. It's going to show all the patterns from the judges, the games that they play, the lawyers, how they manipulate the system, how they play games on the docket with your filings, how they don't allow you to submit evidence, and how it's just a kangaroo court. So, for my personal situation, and which I'm sure I'm going to tap into millions of other people going through this, but the minute I filed for divorce, it's like a target on your head. Now they pit mom and dad against each other. I actually never was against. I wasn't asking for anything except for my ex-partner to come home and be a dad for 50% of the time and co-parent. But it ended up vile, and they call it a high conflict. I hate hearing that because it's only one side that's impossible to deal with, and that also has to deal with narcissistic personalities. Someone that has those behaviors are basically, like I said, impossible to deal with. They only see black and white. There's no negotiations. So you're at a roadblock. You cannot do anything, especially when someone as an adult doesn't speak to you, slams doors in your face, can never say your name. I mean, what kind of role model is that for your child? Because now you're teaching your child those behaviors. So, basic bullet points. You file for divorce. Before divorce, you're a normal parent. You were either a stay-home mom, or you worked, or you did both. I'm probably 100%. Even if you did have a record, it doesn't mean that you lose your rights to your children. Me personally, I never had a record of drugs, PFAs, violence of any kind, DUI, nothing on my record. All of a sudden, when I filed divorce, I have to get a psych evaluation. I'm now bipolar. I went through gaslighting because my ex-partner hired a psychic, believe it or not. I know that sounds crazy. She was gaslighting me and the children in the house. Her name, or her fake name maybe, is Edith Elizabeth, or Elizabeth Edith, in Stone Harbor, New Jersey. Then I went through the manipulation, the control. Then it was, I was a whore, I was a slut, I was a party animal. Then they tried to frame me with drugs. None of this worked. I had to get drug tested multiple times, where they were taking hunks of hair out of my head, where I had a burr haircut underneath my head. Underneath my hairline. Then from there, it was just, I was a bad parent. So I highly recommend everybody journal, because you're not crazy. The things that the courts are doing is absolutely nuts. They are not to be trusted. Do not give credibility to anyone that wears a robe or anyone that wears a badge. And that includes police officers, priests, judges, lawyers. I'm sorry, but they have no credibility. Some are unaware, and some are aware of the system. Some might be innocently involved, and others are intentionally destroying your family. And love dominates. That's what we're about, is to try to keep the families together. Number one, keep them out of the court system. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not this expert, but I am an erased parent that has gone through alienation for the last 8 years for no reason at all. So, patterns of my lawyers: they would drop me before a hearing. They all said I was impossible to deal with. How was I impossible to deal with when they never even took my call? I did all the work. All they were, they'd show up at court and was a dead body standing next to me with a license. That's it. Actually, that is a key. Make sure you check on the record. You check if your judge has their oath of office up to date. You check if if all their licenses are up to par. Your therapists, your psych evaluators. Half these people aren't even educated. They just bring them in and hire them and say they have all these credentials, and they don't. It's amazing. The lies, it just never ends. These judges are just administrative clerks. They're not even judges. I can't believe someone would actually stand up in a courtroom and pretend and then destroy your family intentionally for money and greed. Anyway, so journal everything. Watch the patterns of your lawyers. Watch the patterns of the judges, because the judges in court will give cues to the opposing counsel, the prosecutors, the plaintiffs. Watch them, study them, learn the verbiage. There's legal, and then there's lawful law. It's like you really have to know the difference. You need to educate yourself. I highly recommend people, especially in Pennsylvania, to be a pro se litigant. You will learn a lot. You will absolutely learn a lot. Anyway, journal the patterns, journal what's going on, timeline your case. That way it'll be easier later for you to connect the dots. I'm going to do some short video clips on the divorce from May 7th, 2012, all the way to now, and you will see the scandal. You will see the fraud. You will see no due process. All my constitutional rights have been taken from me. The Bill of Rights, all the amendments. God, the list goes on. But we've been able to, connect all the dots, put it all together, and now we're at the end because I have to sell the marital house. And that in itself is just, let's put it this way. Yeah, you guys aren't going to believe this story, but this has been all premeditated since the day they created the divorce decree, and then they don't hold up to the divorce decree. Everything harms me, and everything's in favor of the ex-partner. It's 100% I'm wrong, and he's 100% right. That is not reality. So we are going to wrap this all up. The reason I'm putting this together is so you guys can relate to your stories, and hopefully this will help your case. I also, if anyone is from Pennsylvania, I want for everyone to give me a 5-minute video of your name, your docket number, the county you're in, and if you're brave enough, say the judge. I mean, it's on public record anyway, it doesn't really matter. And really bullet point your timeline. Wrap it up in 5 minutes. Just talk about the constitutional rights that were taken from you, any kind of PA code, your amendments, everything that's going on in your case. A lot of this is, I call it psychological abuse, where they'll try to label you as bipolar and then commit you because they make money. It's also Title 4D, where they're making either the mother or father pay. I call it extortion. There's a lot of different things. So please put it together and send it to me. You can upload it onto YouTube and then send me the link. I'm gonna compile all these together, and I'm just curious. I have at least a list of 500 names of people and families that have been affected. So let's get this together. Please send it to me at tamara@lovedominates.com, and I'll try to do my best to get it together. So send it to me within the next 2 weeks. All right, we got to keep this fight up. We got to really help out everyone that's going through this, the CPS, foster care. We need to save our children and bring them back. Bring them back to the parents. It's the parental rights. All right, choose love over hate, compassion over judgment in everything you do, because love will dominate. All right, love everyone.